Many years ago, there was a network of electric trains, commuter trains that would run through southeastern Wisconsin. They would kind of go from the outlying towns into Milwaukee and vice versa. People commuted to work that way for many years. As the car got more popular and more people started driving, the trains lost popularity, and they started to shut down lines. So when the time came to shut down the East Troy line, the city, I believe, of East Troy, I might be getting this wrong, but I believe the city of East Troy purchased the line from the railroad, and they used it to shuttle goods back and forth between Mukwonago and East Troy. In 1972, the Railroad Museum asked if they could start doing like tourist rides on the weekends when the train wasn't being used for commuting anymore. And they got the okay to do that. And that was the birth of the Railroad Museum. And when they finally stopped doing product shipments on the train, then its sole purpose was just for the museum. So this year was the 50th anniversary of the Railroad Museum. And with us being here, I thought it'd be a great time for us to go and take another ride. We've done it once before, years ago. So my oldest daughter decided to join us, and we headed to East Troy. We picked her up, and we went to, well, our original plan was to go to Gus's Drive-In, but then we changed plans and we were going to go get barbecue. And then once we got there, the line for barbecue was so long that we ended up going back to the original plan and going to Gus's Drive-In. Gus's Drive-In it's pretty neat. It's like a old drive-in diner type feel. Lots of car memorabilia. They do car shows there. They have an old Muffler Man statue up front with a hot dog, I believe, and a milkshake maybe. So we got some lunch. After lunch, we headed downtown. I wanted to fly the drone over to town a little bit, so we parked. I took the drone out, flew it around, but the wind was pretty intense, so didn't do that very long. Then we headed over to the museum, checked out the exhibits. Now there's two different trains. There's a dinner train and then there's a regular, just commuter train. And they do a lot of dinner train rides. We weren't doing that, we were just doing a regular train ride. So you get on the train, there's two cars, and it takes you from East Troy to Mukwonago to a place called the Elegant Farmer. Once you get to Elegant Farmer, the train stops. You get off, you can go shopping, go to the apple orchard, look around. And then you can get back on the train and take it back. The original plan was to get off in Mukwonago, spend an hour there, and then get back on the last train, head for home. Unfortunately, the Elegant Farmer is just not something we're really into. That little store with a bunch of products, jellies, jams, cookies, pies. And we probably would have purchased something, but the line to get in and out of there was intense. So we just scratched that. It cost $5, I think it was, to go to the orchard. We weren't getting apples, so it didn't make any sense for us to do that either. They were out of donuts, which was probably the other thing we would have been into. So we just ended up getting right back on the train. It started raining actually right before we got on the train. So we just got on the train and headed back. Once we got back, we ran next door to the old-fashioned ice cream shop. Now, when we were local, we would go to this ice cream shop quite a bit. And I always remember it being very good. But for some reason, this time, it just wasn't as good as I remember. Now, I'm not saying it was bad. It was not bad at all. But in my mind, it was better. So I don't know if that's just me or if there really is something to that. But either way, got ice cream. It's a neat place. It's got a lot of old memorabilia stuff in it. It's a little dark and dingy in there though, but it is what it is. And then that was it. That was our date. We dropped the kid off at our car and we headed for home. I want to thank you guys for watching the videos, and if you would, please hit that subscribe button, like the video, maybe share it, and we'll be back next week with another video. These chipmunks are going to be glad once we're finally gone.